video, we are going to discuss the rise of Joseph Stalin in the USSR. Today's question we're going to talk about is, how did Joseph Stalin become a dictator of communist Russia? Well, that's a really good question because we're about to find out in the video. In today's video, we will talk about how Russia became a communist country and how Joseph Stalin rose to power in the USSR, what is now Russia today. Alright, let's crack on today's video on the rise of Joseph Stalin. How did Russia become a communist country? Russia became communist following the 1917 Russian Revolution, where the Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized power from the provisional government during the October Revolution. Amidst a brutal civil war and widespread dissatisfaction with the Tsar and the war effort, the Bolsheviks consolidated control, establishing the Soviet Union, USSR, in 1922. Joseph Stalin's rise to power. Position in the Bolshevik Party. Stalin built a strong network within the Bolshevik Party by holding important positions such as General Secretary from 1922, which allowed him to appoint loyal supporters and control party membership. Exploiting Lenin's death. After Lenin's death in January 1924, Stalin skillfully manipulated party politics, using his influence to marginalize his rivals, such as Leon Trotsky, Zinoviev and Kamenev, by controlling key decisions and turning party members against them. Use of propaganda and fear. Stalin used propaganda to build his image as a true successor of Lenin, while also employing fear and intimidation, including purges and show trials, to eliminate any opposition and consolidate his power. Stalin in power. Industrialization and collectivization. Stalin implemented a series of 5-year plans aimed at rapidly industrializing the Soviet Union. This included the forced collectivization of agriculture, leading to widespread famine and the suffering of millions, particularly in the Ukraine. Political repression and purges. Stalin maintained power through extreme political repression. The Great Purge of the late 1930s saw millions of people accused of being enemies of the state, resulting in executions, imprisonment in gulags, and widespread fear throughout society. Cult of personality. Stalin cultivated a personality cult, promoting himself as an infallible leader. Propaganda was extensively used to glorify his achievements and present him as the savior of the nation, while dissent was brutally suppressed. How was Stalin's USSR a dictatorship? Centralized power. Stalin consolidated power in the Communist Party, eliminating any opposition. Key decisions were made by a small group of loyalists, while Stalin at the helm, effectively sidelining any democratic practices within the government. Suppression of dissent. Political opposition was brutally crushed through methods such as surveillance, censorship, and the use of secret police, NKVD. Anyone deemed a threat to Stalin's authority faced arrest, imprisonment in gulags, or execution. Propaganda and control of information. The state controlled all media and utilized propaganda to promote Stalin's image and the success of his policies. This manipulation of information ensured that the population was kept in line and isolated from any alternative viewpoints. Right, before this video comes to an end, we are going to look at some statements about the lives of people in the USSR, starting with the positive. Stalin was portrayed portrayed as the great father of the USSR, a caring figure protecting workers and children. By 1940, the USSR was the second largest industrial power in the world. Women gained new opportunities. By 1940, 41% of industrial workers were women. Stalin used posters, statues, films and parades to show himself as a hero. Education expanded. By 1939, 94% of young people were literate. Coal output rose from 35 million tonnes in 1927 to 130 million tonnes in 1940. Stalin created political stability after years of revolution and civil war. When I grow up, I want to help the world, and I want to be a caring figure protecting workers and children. And I want to be a hero to help the world. Alright, now we're going to the negative statements. Around 1 million people were executed in the Great Terror, 1936 to 1938. Stalin eliminated his rivals. For example, Leo Trotsky was exiled. Around 8 million people were sent to Gulag labour camps, many dying of starvation or overwork. Censorship meant newspapers, books, and art could only support Stalin and communism. Collectivization, farms controlled by the government instead of individually, led to famine in Ukraine 1932 to 1933, killing 5 to 7 million people. The Communist Party was the only legal party. No free elections were allowed. History books were rewritten. Trotsky was erased from photos of Lenin. The secret police, NKVD, arrested millions. People lived in fear of informers. Religious leaders were persecuted. Churches and mosques were closed. Alright, we have looked on the rise of Stalin in the USSR. Over the next few videos, we will learn about the rise of Mussolini in fascist Italy, and we'll have a big focus on the rise of Hitler in Nazi Germany. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.